Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know who it is, doing a casual Friday quickie review of this new Portugal the Man album, Woodstock. Portugal the Man, a band hailing from Alaska that's been at it for a while now. They have numerous records under their belt. My favorite of which has to probably be Censored Colors. I love the dramatic and epic and grand instrumentation and songwriting on that record, but part of my issue with the band is that they kind of departed from that sound a long time ago and have, for record after record, kind of gone for something a little bit more underwhelming and straightforward, but not necessarily like hard-hitting. I guess I've sort of failed to really find my footing, my passion in the band's music ever since they kind of changed sounds after that record. However, I was kind of excited to listen to this new album over here because it sounded like they were really kind of reinventing themselves. The singles sounded like they were going in a totally different direction. Danger Mouse was coming into the fold to do production on this thing. The really edgy and crazy album cover. Also the title and sort of the rumors and the talk around the record of the band like being hugely inspired by Woodstock and the music of the 60s on this new album over here. Not only that, but some of the political sort of angles that sort of seem to be coming through on the promotional tracks and, music video. The band had a beef with InfoWars, of all places. So it seemed like, there were a lot of stars aligning behind this album and, things that were telling me, hey, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be like a new era, a new page in Portugal the Man's career. So, I do try the album, and, certainly it is a different record for Portugal the Man. They do surprise, they do go in a different direction, but it's not really the kind of surprise, it's not really the kind of direction that I personally am looking for. I mean, easily, this is the band's most poppy and accessible album yet. While those overt Woodstock and 60s references are peppered throughout the album here and there, in like a bass line or a guitar line or in a sample or something, there's very little about this album that sort of brings the consciousness, the rawness, the freedom, and the freewheeling experimentation of the music of the 60s did. Because in fact, at its core, this is just a kind of really safe pop album, with some rock elements kind of peppered in. This wouldn't be the first time, in my opinion, that the inclusion of Danger Mouse kind of made a band's or a group's sound a little blander, and I think that's kind of the case with this new record over here. The beats don't really do that much for me. I don't really think they do much to complement Portugal the Man's like songwriting style. The few moments on the record where it's like they're sort of shooting in more of a hip hop direction just kind of feels a little awkward to me. The vocals, while they do kind of have that nasally falsetto that I have kind of come to expect from the band, sometimes they don't really hit me as distinctly as they have in the past, and I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, man, if I didn't know this was a Portugal the Man album, I would have never guessed that this was the band. And again, not because they're going for something so wildly different that I'm like, whoa, amazing. It's actually because I'm just having kind of a difficult time like pinpointing, like, man, where did their sound go? It's just kind of a really underwhelming album for me. It's kind of odd that they're trying to celebrate the spirit of this era of music, and yet I can't find the spirit of it anywhere on this album. It just kind of sounds like a rock group making concessions to the landscape of contemporary pop music and kind of just coming through with a more lackluster project as a result of it. I'm not really sure what else to say about this album. It just really underwhelmed me. Songs didn't stick with me. The instrumental palette, while it was punchy, I just felt like the tunes and the performances weren't there. The performances are just kind of mild. They didn't really hit me with all that much fire. Certainly not as much fire as what is featured on the front cover of this thing. And again, to sort of see the cover, sort of see those overt and those direct references to Woodstock and sort of the style of music that sort of predominantly ruled that festival. To sort of see them, play out on this album in such a watered down, sort of uninspired way is just kind of disappointing. Some of my disappointment with this record, and maybe even a great deal of my disappointment with this record, most likely comes down to expectations, because I did expect the band to really kind of try something different and wow me on this record, and while they did, I guess it was just not what I was interested in hearing, I suppose. Again, not only that, but I feel like they really failed to connect with in any significant way outside of like a little bit of window dressing and pastiche with this style of music that they're allegedly pulling so heavily from. I mean, if anything, Danger Mouse's inclusion into the fold here seems to influence the album's direction more than anything, in terms of just the balance of the instrumentals and kind of the punchiness of the beats. Again, that sort of seems like to be the ruling factor of the way the music sounds on this thing, not the whole Woodstock, inspiration, but I digress. Just really underwhelmed by this thing. There's not really much material on here that's wowing me. But let me know down. Can't even talk. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this record. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what do you think I should review next? And I will catch you guys in the next video. There's a video next to my head over here of another review that I think you should check out. Keep watching, and have a good one. Forever.